Dear friends and followers, welcome back to my channel and lovely greetings from a very different setting than usual. I'm at the Odeon Cinema in Birmingham, England. It is the 25th of May 2022. It is 3 AM at night. I just had the huge pleasure of getting more or less a private viewing of the brand new Top Gun Maverick movie. So straight out of the box, my personal opinion, it is the best aviation related movie I have seen in the last 30 years. It is freaking awesome. I'm actually still buzzing from it. Now over the next couple of minutes, I want to talk to you a little about the movie, but don't worry, I won't reveal any spoilers because I want you to enjoy this movie with all its action and surprises as much as I did. So let's speak about the actors, a little bit about the plot of the movie, then the most important part, the planes, and at the end, why you should go and see it. Don't think, just do it, and let's get started. So let's start with the actors. He is one of Hollywood's most prominent actors and has been consistent in making incredible blockbusters over the last 3 decades. He's also one of my absolute all-time favorites. You all know him, the legend himself, Tom Cruise. I've followed his career for years now, not only because of his movies, I'm even more impressed by his aviator skills. This man can literally fly anything with a set of wings or rotors, which he has shown multiple times in movies such as American Made or the latest Mission Impossible. And being known for performing all his stunts himself, he also flies most of the planes himself. Now what I can reveal is that Tom Cruise, who plays the main character Maverick, or by his real name Captain Pete Mitchell, who this time around works as a Top Gun flight instructor rather than just being a pilot who goes out to fly his missions like in the first movie. Now funny enough, those were the last words Maverick said to Commander Stinger.
I thought of being an instructor, sir. Top Gun? Yes, sir. God help us.
But takes up the challenge as instructed by the Iceman. Yes, good old Val Kilmer also has an appearance. Now they both have a brief encounter in this movie, which I have to say is very heartwarming to seeing them both back on screen again. Moving on, Tom Cruise being the instructor is a great change in roles, as we have known Maverick as to be somewhat reckless, bold, but nonetheless a fantastic pilot, and he is now out to train the best pilots that Top Gun has to offer. Now Maverick also refuses to retire and purposely dodges his advancement in rank to instead continue to fly after 36 years of service. He could have easily settled for an office job, but he's a true aviator and just wants to fly, and boy, do you get the feeling this man can fly. There's no sign of aging on this man and he remains one of the best pilots the Navy has to offer. The co-star next to Tom Cruise is the incredibly talented Miles Teller. You've seen him in movies such as Whiplash, War Dogs or Bleed for This. Miles plays Lieutenant Bradley Rooster Bradshaw, the son of Maverick's late best friend Nick Bradshaw, better known as Goose, who tragically died in the first movie. But if you know the first movie well enough, you can actually see the young Bradley in a couple of scenes. Now comment below if you know what Goose's job was in the first Top Gun movie. Anyhow, Rooster and Maverick don't get along very well after their first encounter, as Rooster partly blames Maverick for his father's death 36 years ago. I have to admit, they couldn't have chosen a better actor to play Rooster than Miles Teller, as he even looks a little like the old Goose. Now this obviously puts drama and an emotional side to the movie. How that connection pans out between the two of them, I don't want to reveal too much, but trust me when I say it'll get very intense. Now the second co-star is Jennifer Connelly, who you know from movies such as The Hulk in 2003, A Beautiful Mind and Only the Brave, and well, being stunningly hot. She plays alongside Maverick, going by the name of Penny Benjamin, being a long forgotten love affair that blossoms up again in this sequel. If you've seen the first Top Gun movie, she is actually referenced when Maverick and Goose are getting told off by Commander Stinger.
With a history of high-speed passes over 5 air-controlled towers and 1 admiral's daughter. Penny Benjamin.
So there is some history between the two of them, and how their love story turns out is something for you to look forward to. One thing that I can reveal is that Maverick yet again takes his girls out on his vintage Kawasaki motorbike, which by the way also makes an appearance, but also takes her up to the sky with one of the most beautiful planes to have ever taken off of a runway. Just wait and see. Now, other actors who are part of this incredible movie are Ed Harris, you can never go wrong if Ed Harris is on screen, and John Hamm, who both play sort of high-ranked admirals and have less of a flying role. Now, the hotshots are covered by Glen Powell, acting as Hangman, who plays a real badass, followed by Jay Ellis, who are both hot-headed young Top Gun aviators. Then you have Lewis Pullman, who plays the underdog as a weapons system officer, joined by Monica Barbaro, who plays a female Navy pilot, which I'm delighted to see, because if you remember in the first sequel, there wasn't a single female pilot. Therefore, a nice move by the producer Jerry Bruckheimer to showcase that girls can also become fighter pilots. Good move. Now, speaking of the plot of the movie, there's really not much that I want to tell you, as I don't want to spoil the excitement. Now, what I can say, as mentioned before, Maverick acts as an instructor for a bunch of new Top Gun pilots, and they clearly all learn from his 36 years of experience in the Navy. Now, to say the least, he beats their asses in a few practice runs, which is so damn cool. But Maverick is then ordered to train his new recruits for a special mission which requires a lot of low-level flying through canyons in a foreign country. Therefore, he can only select a few of his recruits capable of handling and flying a specific maneuver which they practice in a dried out lake bed. Now, the movie comes to an absolute climax near the end and will keep you at the edge of your seat. Well, to be fair, the climax is actually 2 hours long, not just at the end. But no joke, I dodged my head a few times when debris was flying towards the pilot. It is so incredibly realistic, and you ever so often feel as if you are sitting in the plane with the pilot flying that fighter jet. The visuals are absolutely insane. It's known that Tom Cruise briefed all participating actors that he doesn't want to use any green screening and that all of the flying scenes will be shot within the real cockpit. It was important to him that the G-forces to which the actors were exposed during steep turns, rolls, loops and other tactical maneuvers shall be visible on their faces. And boy oh boy, do their faces get smushed up during some maneuvers. Facial expressions during G-forces is something you can't fake. Now, just compare the faces from the 1986 movie to the new sequel. This raised the benchmark for aviation movies to a very, very high level. Now, let's speak about the main characters of the movie, the planes. I run an aviation channel and typically don't review movies. Now, the plane you'll see most of the time with which they fly the training sessions and the mission is the Boeing F-18A Super Hornet. Now, the Super Hornet is a far newer model that's still in use among the military, but features some significant changes to the plane in the first movie. Now, for one thing, the Super Hornet is significantly slower than the F-14 Tomcat, despite being a newer model. Also important to note is that although Tom Cruise has the license to fly all sorts of planes, the Navy did not allow him to fly the single-seater version of the Super Hornet, which is the F/A-18A or C. So for all cockpit scenes, filming the pilot's facial expressions and communication with their wingman are filmed in the F/A-18B or D aircraft, as that is the two-seater trainer model of the Super Hornet. Now, nevertheless, you'll see some absolutely stunning shots of the F-18 going around tight bends, flying scaringly close to each other through canyons and bridges, etc. Now, those scenes are one of a kind and must have taken months to coordinate and shoot. You'll highly appreciate those, I have no doubt about this. I just want to watch it again. And if you think the trailers reveal too much of the movie, you don't know what's coming. The trailers here on YouTube don't do any justice what you are going to witness. Then you have the Sukhoi Su-57 acting as the baddie in this movie, and that plane definitely is showing off some crazy moves, but I don't want to say too much. Just wait and see. The other aircraft that will put the biggest smile on your face, absolutely no doubt about it, is the beautiful Grumman F-14 Tomcat, which you all know from the first movie. Sadly, that plane was retired by the Navy in 2006, and only the Iranian Air Force still has a few F-14s in service. So she makes an appearance, but I don't want to reveal under which circumstances she can be seen. If you look at the trailer close enough, you can actually see her in the last few seconds. And lastly, the other American co-star to the F-14 and the F-18 is the North American P-51 Mustang. Yeah, buddy. It's a little hard to believe that Maverick could afford a classic North American P-51 Mustang, given his lack of career progression, but Tom Cruise himself can. Now, the P-51 Mustang is actually his own, nicknamed Kiss Me Kate, and if you are a true aviation geek and have a love for old warbirds, the shots of this plane in this movie will make your heart skip a beat, I can guarantee you that. Okay, question. Should you watch the first movie? You don't necessarily have to watch the first movie to understand what's going on in the second, but I highly recommend you treat yourself to a Top Gun marathon and watch the first one just before heading to the cinema. Small little anecdotes and aha moments will make the second movie so much better for you if you've just refreshed your mind on the first one. There are so many small details, like using the same writing font they used in the first. Yes, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to fonts. Or do you remember the song that Goose plays on the piano at the bar? Well, someone is also playing the piano and the same song at the bar in the new movie. Or the beach volleyball scene, which they have replicated nicely in the new one as well. So to sum it up, if you are an aviator, a future pilot, an air traffic controller, or just generally excited about aviation, Top Gun Maverick is an absolute must-see for you. It's a film about competition, camaraderie, courage, action, love, humor, and in my opinion, loads of motivation. You'll be walking out of the cinema, holding your head high and thinking to yourself, shit, I need to make some changes in my life to be as bold and courageous as Maverick and the other fighter pilots. Sure, it is a movie at the end of the day, but don't you like that feeling when you are completely exhilarated about what you've just seen? I'm confident that you will get that extra motivational boost you're anticipating. It'll blow your socks off. It's the aviation movie we have all been waiting for. Richard, do you mind if we watch this one more time? Yeah. Okay, good. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed my short review of the new Top Gun Maverick. So get your tickets today, and I'm somewhat jealous that you still haven't seen it yet. And here's your checklist. Subscribe to my channel, check. Activate the notification bell, check. Follow my Instagram account, check. And perform a touch and go at my website, check. And don't forget, a good pilot is always learning. Wishing you all the best here from the Odeon Cinema here in Birmingham, your Captain Joe.